morning, amazing pupils. How was your weekend? Well done. Well done, I must say, to all worksheets that have been submitted, especially on division. Using repeated subtraction. Yes, I was about to say that. Well done, well done, well done. You all did a great job. For those that have not submitted, please, I'm expecting. All right, so we're going to start a new topic. This is week 9. And our new topic is 2-dimensional shapes and 3-dimensional shapes. It's quite an interesting one. Now, let's see. Now, the 2-dimensional shapes are basically shapes that we find around us. They're shapes that we already know before. So we're just going to do a little talk about it, and then we move to the 3-dimensional shapes. Now, the 2-dimensional shapes are basic shapes we all know. Like I said, they are flat shapes that they can be placed on the surface. They are flat shapes. They are plane shapes. They have edges and sides, and they have length and width. What have I said? 2-dimensional shapes. Oh no, I'm so sorry. 2-dimensional shapes have plane shapes. They are flat shapes too. They have edges and they have sides. They also have length and width. This is what I call edges. This is an edge. This is an edge. And this is flat. Something that is flat. You can place it. Yes. So this is edge. This is flat. This is side. 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 Look at my finger. Side. Edge. Flat. Good. And they are plane shapes. They are simple shapes we find around us. Now let's take a tour on these shapes. Yes, these are 2-dimensional shapes and its properties. We have the circle. We all know the circle. The circle has no edge. The square has edges. If you count them, the box-like, they have four edges, 4 sides. The rectangle also have 4 edges. Okay, I forgot to put edges here. Let's just do that. Edges. Yeah, thank you. All right. Also, the rectangle has its 4 edge. Good. The star has 1 side. The triangle, there's a typo error here, so I'm going to correct it now. Thank you. The triangle has 3 edges. That's like this, like this, like this. 1, 2, 3. Good. You all know the triangle shape. The rhombus has 4 edges. Now, the rhombus is like a kite. It's flat. You're going to see a picture of all the shapes when I flip to the next slide. The parallelogram has 4 edges. The pentagon has 5 edges, 5 sides. All the polygon shapes. The pentagon, the hexagon, the heptagon, the octagon, the nonagon, the decagon. So they go in line. Once you can identify them with your names, you will know how many sides and edges they have. The pentagon has 5, the hexagon has 6, the heptagon has 7, the octagon has 8, the nonagon has 9, and the decagon has 10. Now let's take a picture and let's take a look at the shapes I have mentioned. Yes, these are the pictures. You can see the circle, you can see the square, you can see the hexagon. Yeah. You can see the hexagon, you can see the rectangle, you can see the oval, you can see the triangle, you can see the semicircle, even the heart shape. Yes, the heart shape, the heart that we know, is also a 2-dimensional shape. It's a flat shape. Yeah, we also have the pentagon, which is a 5 side. You can see the yellow, so you can just count it while you're watching the video. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. The 5 edges. You can see the octagon. Just count it while you're listening to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 edges. You have the star, you have the rhombus, you have the heart shape. Now, some of these shapes, in fact, almost all of these shapes. This is another picture. In case you don't find a shape in the other one, you can find it here. Okay, let me move my mouse a bit. All right. So, some of these 2D shapes are objects we can find around us. For example, have you looked at your clock face? My question says, think about 2D objects you can find around your environment and write them. So I'm going to write some that I can find on my table at the moment. I have a clock. A clock. That's my clock. Yeah. So a clock is a 2D shape. A clock face, and the 2D shape is the circle. So I identify an object and I put the shape by the side. Did you see that? Yes. Another shape again is my window. Yes, my window is square-like. It's square-like, so I have the window, and the shape for the window is a square. Hold on, Miss Paula. I also have what's on my table again? A ruler. Good. A ruler. And what shape is a ruler? Can guess the long ruler? Is a rectangle. A rectangle. So you're going to check at home. There's a worksheet. Check in the house. The kitchen, go through the kitchen, go through your bedroom, the sitting room, the dining corner, the store, even outside. Just check around. You find one particular object that stands for each shape. So that's for the 2D shape. Now let's talk about the 3D shape. Yes, the 3D shape. Okay. Now the 3D shape have its own peculiarities. It has its own features. Remember, we said the 2-dimensional shapes are flat shape. Now the 3-dimensional shapes are not flat shape. They are solid shapes. The 3-dimensional shapes are solid shapes. They are not flat shape. The 2-dimensional shapes are flat shapes and they are plane shapes. The 3-dimensional shapes are solid shapes. The 3-dimensional shapes have length, height, and width. They have depth. But the 2-dimensional shapes have got only the length and height. Now, the 3-dimensional shape have got faces and edges. There are also shapes we find around us, even when we go to the mall, even things that we buy. Yes, there's most especially things that we buy. Now we're going to look at example, but first of all, let's look at some of these shapes. Okay, can I move this up? Yes, I can. Okay, so the 3-dimensional shapes has a cone. A cone is not a 2-dimensional shape because it's not flat. It's a 3-dimensional shape. It has got 2 faces and 1 edge. The sphere, which is like let me see example of a sphere. You have the globe, the word globe. Okay, you have a soccer ball. That's easier for those that don't understand the globe. You have a soccer ball, yes, but the globe, some of us have it in our houses. I don't know if you have, but it's also a sphere. The earth is also a sphere. Good. Now we have the cube. Your cube of sugar, of course. You have your cube. The cube has 6 faces. You can go to your cube, pick it up and look at the faces of the cubes. It has got 6 faces and 12 edges. Remember, we are learning shapes, not just shapes. We are learning their properties. What is special about these shapes? What is special about a rhombus? What is special about a parallelogram? That's for a 2D shape. Now, what is special in a triangular prism? What is special in a cylinder? So we are not just looking at shape, but we are trying to look at what is special about the shape, their properties, and how we can use objects around us to identify these shapes. Okay, so we have a cylinder. The cylinder is a 3 faces and 2 edges. We have triangular prism. The triangular prism has 6 faces and 9 edges. We also have the rectangular prism. The rectangular prism is known as a cuboid. The cuboid is popularly known. Yes, but it's either you call it a cuboid or you call it a rectangular prism. So they are the same thing. In case you find a picture that has a rectangular prism and does not have a cuboid is still the same thing. Yes, it's the same thing. It's just the word that is making it different, but it's the same thing. All right, so we continue. We also have the triangular pyramid. Yes, the triangular pyramid has the 6 faces and edges. Now let's take a look at all these shapes we have mentioned. Let's look at the pictures of them. Next slide, sorry. Yes, so these are the pictures of these shapes Miss Paula is talking about. Okay, let me push my picture down. We have the sphere. You can see the sphere. You can see the cylinder. You can see the pyramid. You can see the cube. Aha, here is written a cuboid, so that's good to go. Normally you'd have seen it as a rectangular prism. Also, we have the triangular prism coming. Oh no, sorry, I went back. Yeah, also we have the triangular prism that looks like, this triangular prism looks like, it reminds me of, you know, those tents we use when we go for picnic. Yes, something like that. We also have the cone, the same thing. Yeah, I put in another color so you can look at those shapes and come. We have the hemisphere. Yes, it's also a 3D shape. Okay, next slide. Yes, this is like a summary of what I have said. We said that the 2D shapes are plane shapes. You can see the plane shapes here. I said that the 3D shapes are solid shapes. You can see solid. The 3D has the edges and faces, but the plane shape has got edges and sides. So the solid has edges and faces, because when I'm giving you objective exam, take notes. But the 2D has the sides and edges. What is common in the two of them is edges and vertices, but we're not going to vertices for your age now. We'll talk about just the edges and the faces and the sides. For those that have the side, the 2D have the side, the 3D have the faces. Please take note. Don't forget. Those peculiarities are important. Next slide. All right, as we also did for the 2D shapes, we are going to think of objects around us that can replace these 3D shapes. Now let's take a look at our cone. Cone. Oh, my pen has changed. Sorry. Cone. Good. What picture can represent a cone? I know some of you will just shout ice cream. Correct, you're correct, but let me not use ice cream. Let me use something else. You can have a party heart. All those party hearts we use for our birthdays. Yeah, so you have to really think deep and look around the house. A party heart. And I can also have carrots. Yes, carrots. Wow, yeah, that's true. Carrots. I eat a lot of carrots. Maybe that's why I remembered. So carrots, yeah. Carrot is the shape of a cone. Also, we can have, let me see another shape for cylinder, a 3D shape for cylinder. What's on my table? Okay, yeah. I just remembered something. Let me show you before I tell you the name. I'm trying to bring it up. Ta-da! What's that? It's a battery. Yeah. So a battery can also serve as a cylinder. Okay, I won't tell you more. Go and search for more. We can also have, I told you, I've already talked about the sphere. I gave example as the earth. Also, I talked about soccer ball. Yeah, there are lots of things also. You just need to think deep and look around. Let me give you one more. What's on my table again? Yes, I have a matchbox. A matchbox is a 3D shape. Now my matchbox will be either a cuboid, and I said another name for cuboid is what? Triangular prism. Please, you can't forget. Okay, wait, let me cuboid. Sorry, I need to be sure. Okay, cuboid, or thank you for bringing it up for me. Rectangular prism can be my, this is a rectangle. If it's triangle, it comes like this. So this is a rectangle. Cuboid or rectangular prism, and I call it a matchbox. That's my own example. Matchbox. Good. Another example. Let's look at my table. Yes. Cube. I remember saying your cube of sugar. Yes, you can have that. Then you can also have Legos. Good. Legos. Those Legos that you play with. See the way I'm thinking. So you have to think that way too to have your word. Arrange my like. So you need to arrange yours so that it can come out this way. Yes. So I've given you a list of items that fall under the 3D shape. I've talked about the cone, I've talked about the cylinder, I've talked about the sphere, I've talked about the cube, and also the rectangular prism, which is also called the cuboid. So on your for your work today for the shapes, I'm going to should we do 2D or 3D? Yes, we're going to do both 2D and 3D. You're going to look around the house, inside and both outside the environment. Find out objects that represent any of the shapes. Either you write the object, I would have said you should draw, but you might make it next week. If you want to draw, it's going to be neat. Go ahead. Otherwise, write the names of what you observe, write the name of the object beside it. Do that for both the 2D and the 3D, and that will be for today. Do I have any other slide? No. And so, if you have any question, feel free to call me. Feel free to dial my number. Feel free to ask me the question, and I'll be right there to respond. Thank you, guys, and have a lovely day. Bye.